This is Rockstar 2800 with smutfree TV, the hottest content in these internet streets. Make sure you tune in, like, comment, subscribe. Get your mind right.
Okay, let's speak on prison. Okay,
Okay.
you locked up. You say you take the 7 years.
Yep.
Okay, when you get in jail, you say you run with the blacks.
Mm-hmm.
How does this happen? How do
Okay.
what's the politics on this?
All right. So you got to remember that I've never all right. As far as penitentiary time, I've been doing time since I was a jit. Like I've been doing time for a long time. I've never, not once in all the years of doing time, have I seen the prison politics like out here. Like basically, really, it's LA started the shit, and it's kind of like from my understanding, it's like Arizona kind of follows suit. They do the whole California thing, but they do it in their own way. So when I get out here, I fly in. The U.S. Marshals transport me on a plane. I'm in cuffs. I get to Phoenix. I get to the jail. I've never been to jail out here before. Like literally, the time I got locked up, they let me out on my own recognizance. So when I get in there, I got a white dude. He walks up to me and he starts just saying like, "Hey, what's going on, man? Whoopty wop." And I'm so in my head at this time. I'm depressed at this point in time. Like I'm really going through some mental shit. So I'm not really understanding what's happening. But what's really going on is because I didn't know nothing about the races. He's a white boy and he's like, okay, you're a white boy. And so here's the white boy rules. But that's not how he says it. He just says, hey, bro, this is, where you eat. This is this. And I'm like, whatever. So I go in my room. I don't come out my room for 2 weeks straight. I try to be real aware of my surroundings. So I'm just peeping shit. I'm in a foreign land, basically. So like, and I'm depressed. So I'm like, all right, man, I'm chilling. So by the time I start to really being like, all right, I'm gonna start coming out my room a little bit, I peep out and I see some brothers over ups because I was up in the upstairs room. This was in LBJ. I seen some brothers working out, some light-skinned brothers or whatever, and I'm into that working out shit at this time. Like it's really helping me stay sane. So I go over to him, I'm like, hey man, y'all mind if I, jump in the car with y'all? And it was like, no man, come on. Super inviting, da da da. So as we get to talking, they start explaining things. And I'm like, what? Wait, what? Had no idea there was any type of racial shit or nothing like that. So I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. And then I go downstairs and the place where the white guys eat at, it's got swastikas all on the table. Now, keep in mind, my kids I got 2 mixed kids at this time. I'm like, there ain't no way in hell I'm finna identify or associate with anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So I end up talking to them same brothers that I'm working out with, and they like, bro, you don't got to run white. You don't got to. And so I'm like, so I get in my mind like, I'm all right. I'm finna go ahead and check this shit right now. So I go down and I talk to everybody. Got like heads. So I go talk to the head or whatever of the white boys, and I tell them, I'm like, look, I don't know how this shit works out here, but I'm not running with Woods. They call him Woods or Pecker Woods or whatever. So I'm like, I'm not running. So he just looks at me, mean mugs me, bro. He's like just looking at me crazy as hell. I'm like, hey, look, whatever we need to do, let's go ahead and get it done. But he don't want to fight. He don't want to. I'm thinking like we gonna scrap or something. He don't want to fight. He like, fine. You're on your own then or whatever. So I pretty much kind of straddled the line with being quote unquote independent, right? And being with the brothers. Like they call them Kim folks out here, brothers, whatever. So I basically am like, I don't want to run any race because I feel like picking any side is like saying segregation is okay. If you solid, I'm gonna fuck with you. So I didn't like to have that boundary put on me. But the closer and closer it got to me realizing that I needed to, I was probably going to do time and that shit wasn't going to fly. It might fly in county. It wasn't going to fly in the penitentiary. that's when I was just like, well, if I'm running something, it's gonna be black. You know what I'm saying? And so that's just what it was. I was already fucking with the little crew. It was some cats from like Park South in there and Broadway. And she was a lot of South Side cats I met. I mean, I met some other cats from other sides of the city, but
And those are black gangs from Phoenix, right?
right. And let me clear this up too off the rip. I don't gang bang. I'm not one of these white boys that's coming on here like I'm gang. Like I don't do the gang banging. Like that's not me. If anything, I'll scrap and I'm a hustler. But other than that, I'm not trying to be labeled as nothing else. But yeah, they was some gangs like. I met a lot of Crips for sure, a lot of Crips, and I got a lot of love, bro, because I feel like I'm always my authentic self. I'm not.
So you run blacks. Was there issues with the woods? I mean,
So,
what like
so
I know you just didn't have an easy time in there.
right. So 100%. Um, Let me just say this, man. At the end of the day, all praise to God because I feel like any way that I did make it through, is all because of God. But minus that, right? It was more so in the county of just some hating shit. Nobody wanted to throw hands in county like that. That wasn't what it was. So I get through that time, and at this time, I'm really putting my size on. I'm really into this working out shit. But I'm a country boy, So at the end of the day, I've always been down to scrap. But the way I feel like I done so much time, the way I carry myself, nobody really had an issue. I stayed to myself. It was for the longest time, even though I was running black, I wouldn't even eat at the blacks table, And then finally, my homie was like, "You gotta stop, stop being scary." Basically is what they told me. Stop being scary, come down here with us and eat. So I did. I went down there, I started eating, and I just started, you know what I mean? Because in my mind, I don't know what's about to pop off. I don't know really nobody out here, and I'm very like cautious, so I'm just getting into the flow. And then the longer you doing county, you got to realize people are in and out of county. So the longer you in there, you got like a seniority that comes about. It's like Eazy been in here for fucking 10 months. You know what I'm saying? Like ain't nobody new finna come in and say shit, And if they did, I was ready to scrap, bro. I'm not a violent person, but I'd be damned if you gonna punk me out. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up taking the plea for the 7 years, and I go to the yard. Now, I'm gonna say this. I got a non-violent charge this go around. So I'm going to a 2-yard, which basically means more so minimum custody. Everybody's pretty much leaving those yards 5 years or less. You know what I mean? So now that doesn't make it less dangerous. I will say this. They do get down out here in fucking in Arizona. It's different in Florida, but they the way they shit is set up out here is just crazy. Like, so how they segregate people, you got the white boys, the woods, you got the blacks, the Kim folks, you got the Mexican Americans that's from, out here in America, those Chicanos, the Mexicans from Mexico, those the Paisas, and then the natives. But like one thing I'll say about the blacks is they don't be trying to fuck they people up. But let me tell you something about these other races. They be fucking they people up, bro. You do any little thing, they take you in the bathroom and beat that ass. But so anyways, I get to my yard and I already hear war stories and I don't really know how the system is out here. So I'm just kind of processing shit. So as soon as I get to the yard, literally, I'm on the yard with 1,000 people on one side, 1,000 people on the other side. I walked to the first black dude I seen. I said, because I got my stuff in my hand. I said, "Hey, I'm running kinfolk, and whoever I need to see about it, whoever I need to catch the fade with, let me know now." He started laughing. He like, "I like you." You know what I'm saying? He like, ain't you. I don't think you gonna have a problem. Come to find out, this was like one of the biggest dope dealers on the yard at this point in time. I mean, this man was really like, this was the first time I seen drugs move in prison the way it did out here. And I end up in his building. So, like I said, by the grace of God, like, I was ready for all fades, you know what I'm saying? But I never had I never had a white, like I had white boys look at me, obviously, like, you's a fucking traitor, you this, that, and the fourth, but no, like, it was whispered shit. Nothing ever like was presented to my face. You know what I'm saying? I never had a situation. Matter of fact, the fight I got into in the penitentiary was with a brother. It was a cat named Outlaw, and he was from DC, and he was drunk talking shit. And with our peoples, if somebody say something to you, you can't turn down a fade. Like, you can't say certain shit to somebody without catching a fade, or they gonna run you off the yard. So I end up just migrating, doing my time how I'm supposed to do it. I'm kicking my shit. I'm abiding by prison politics. You know, they done read over my paperwork. Soon as you come in, you got to give me your paperwork. They done read over my paperwork. I'm good. Everything's good. I'm programming. I'm working out. I don't have no issues until I get into a fight with this outlaw cat. Now, here's where shit takes a little bit of a twist. So at the time, I'm on this 2-yard in Kingman. I get into the fight. They got a zero tolerance policy for physical, type shit. No fighting type shit. No dope, no fighting. So they send me off the yard. They send me to a yard called Steiner. At this time, it's called Stickum Steiner. So I'm like, as soon as I walk, this is in Lewis Complex. This is in Buckeye, so it's close to Phoenix. When I walk on this motherfucking complex, bro, you could tell it's like a evilness about it. Like, no lie, it's almost like you could sense death on it. And I can't even explain it, bro. So when I get to this motherfucker, I promise you, this shit was so crazy. They was poking fools up, hiding them under the sheets, and letting the guards find them the next day at count time. Like, this shit was really, like, I seen some shit in Florida, but the shit I seen out here at that little brief time when I was at Steiner, that shit was crazy. So now I'm getting onto a yard with more lifers and shit. And here's where people is like not understanding the whole you white running black, because you got old heads who come from an old style, and they just got trust issues, bro. They not really with that shit. Like, it was from both sides. It was the white boys like, man, I ain't, what the fuck you mean he's running black? And then you got the black dudes like the old heads. You got some of them, not all of them. The younger ones was cool, but some of them is like I went to go sit down at the tables, and they like, the fuck is you doing? You know what I'm saying? And then I had to like literally have a homeboy was like, hey, chill out. He cool. He with us. You know what I'm saying? And it just the looks that so it was real awkward and uncomfortable. But the thing that helped me out, I'm gonna be real. When I did my time in county, I was in there for so long. So when I did move to that yard, it was at least 5 youngsters on the yard who knew me and rocked with me and was like, hey, Eazy, what's up, bro? And so that love kind of helped break that ice, because if I didn't have that, I probably would have been into some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. Sound like you survived it.
Hey, I did survive, but that don't mean like it damn near one time was almost a riot behind me. Like, but that's why I say, bro, like, fools had my back, and I just respected that shit to the utmost, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was almost some shit between us and the Mexicans. Cause I was in there doing my little hustle. I'm selling brownies. I'm doing this. I'm in there running stores. I'm doing whatever I got to survive, because I ain't got nobody on the streets at this time. And some shit happened, and I run into this Mexican, and he say some shit, and I say some shit back, and then now all of a sudden in there, you can't just like necessarily fight a different race on those type of yards. You got to really like go to the head, check into some shit, because a riot will pop off. You know what I'm saying? With the quickness. And so like the heads had to come together, shit had to been squashed, and it was just, this shit out here is crazy. They got crazy type way of doing time out here. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, no, for sure. Easy Money is definitely in the building, man.